Hello and welcome to the podcast for Assessment Task 3 of Develop and Use Complex Spreadsheets. In this assessment task, we're looking for you to create a blood pressure tracker for Dr. Brian Kennedy. Now, Dr. Kennedy is going to use this to get his patients to basically keep track of their blood pressure and to basically update to see where they're at. So, what we want to do is to basically, first of all, create a spreadsheet that looks a little bit like this. So we've got this tracker that looks a little bit like this. So in this first three rows just here, or first three columns here, we've got a little setup for the pulse, the systolic rate, and the diastolic rate. Having this set up here is going to be really important for the function that we want to do for this particular unit, which is called a VLOOKUP function. And essentially what the VLOOKUP function is going to do for us is it's going to give us the answer to whether 140 and what range that sits into. So what we could do is type in, look here and say, oh, 140, well, 140 is normal to high. So in here, I'm going to type normal to high. Those of you with eagle eyes will see that actually up here, we've got the VLOOKUP function being displayed. So let's have a look at the actual formula. Now what a VLOOKUP function will actually do is it goes and looks against a table and it compares the data in the table with the data that we're asking it to compare to. So in this case we're asking it to compare this, and the pulse rate as well. So what it'll actually do is it'll look across and it'll pull the information across for us, which is why I've set up these tables just here. Now you can see we're asking it to look up, okay, first of all we're asking it to look in column H, row number 5, which is just here. We're then saying we want you to take the information from B5 to C8, so B5 to C8, and you'll see that these are all in absolutes so that it's all locked in. And then it's asking for us to, well, a little bit of extra information. I don't want to tell you necessarily in this what it is because that'll tell you how to do the entire assessment. But I do think it's important that you learn how to use a VLOOKUP function and able to do this assessment successfully. So it's quite easy in this to check to see whether you've got the right information because it's quite a small chart. So you can see that 140 is in the normal to high, 50 is in the low range, 56 is also in the low range. So it's quite easy to double check where you're at. What you then need to do is to create a chart like this, which basically tracks the progress of each of the rates on a daily basis for the morning and for the evening as well. So that's the other part of the assessment task. So all the information that you need is found here in your workbook. Or of course, having now seen it through this podcast, you could of course pause it and use that as a template as well. So what you need to do is to provide this information just here. You don't have to provide a printout of your spreadsheet. You don't have to provide a printout of the letter or the letter to Alan Jenkins. You just need to have your file, your Word file, and these things here as well. Now you're probably wondering, what letter are we talking about? Well, once we've got the chart and the table looking it all up correctly, what you need to do is to copy this letter and insert the graph here and insert the data into here from this spreadsheet. So it all just needs to basically go into there and you then need to upload that as well. So hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea of what it is that you need to do to complete assessment task 3 for this unit. Of course, if you've got any questions, jump onto the forums and shoot any questions out into there. It's a great source of finding out information. Or of course, you can get in touch with your assessor through the agreed methods as well. Until next time, best of luck with your assessments.